Hello, this is Left Turn Productions, and welcome to my new series called The Best Race. This will be a series where I take a season of a stop-motion series and then find what I think is the best race of the season and analyze it. For this first episode, I'm going to do my own York Legend series, which was an 8-race stop-motion series season that I ran in the beginning of 2019. Like I said, there were 8 races to choose from, so it's a pretty small picking. But I narrowed it down to just 2. Race number 4 at Tiburon, and race number 7 at Sunoco Speedway. The Tiburon race, round number 4, ran an experimental package that would try to emulate the 2011 style of tandem drafting in the NASCAR Cup Series. And it worked pretty well. There were comers and goers, there was a lot of teamwork, there was passing, lead changes, everything. Including crashes as well. And even a pretty good finish to boot, with Caleb Campbell taking the victory. However, this race just lost out to the race at Sunoco Speedway. This race was iconic. When I think of the York Legend series, I usually think of this race. This was the second to last race of the season, and at this point, there were only 5 drivers left in championship contention. Brendan Creason was the points leader. He had been the strongest driver the entire series. Flamville Camaro was a very close second. Caleb Campbell was a very close third. Brady Wilmington and Trivia May were 4th and 5th, and they were pretty distant. They were long shots, but with some good luck and good runs, they could still be in the contention for the championship. Not to mention, this race was actually an extended race. 16 laps. And it required that each driver made 1 pit stop throughout the race. This setup meant drama, and lots of it. As you'll see in a bit, this race did not disappoint. The starting grid was based off points, which means that all 5 championship contenders would be starting near the front of the pack. The first few laps were pretty mild. Nothing really exciting happened during these laps, but there was some pretty good racing between Flamville Camaro, Brendan Creason, and Brady Wilmington. The first caution would not fall until lap number 6. Coming to the line, Flamville Camaro, I think, led that lap. Going into lap number 6. Oh, caution's out, big crash! Brian Ferris in the 00 has climbed up on top of the wall. Running around the middle of the pack, Brian Ferris in the Starcom 00 car got turned by the 22 of Eddie Benzie. He impacted the barrels at the end of the pit wall and ended up climbing up on top of said wall, creating a huge mess and a red flag. It took them about half an hour to not only clean up the barrels, but also take the 00 car off the wall. He would be the first car to retire from the race. By the time they were done with the cleanup, twilight had struck. The sun was starting to set, and from here, the race only got stranger. The first pit stops happened. Flambeau Camaro, the leader, stayed out, but most of the other leaders came in. A few other drivers near the back of the pack, willing to gain some track position and gamble, also stayed out with him. 9 of the 24 cars left in the race did not pit, while the rest did. These guys would be banking on a caution to hope that they can get fresher tires for the rest of the race. 10th place Caleb Campbell will be the first driver on new tires. It would not take long before the second caution fell, when Sportsfan 2009, running in 3rd place, ran over some debris right past the start-finish line, and ended up impacting the wall in turns 2 and 3. And right here is when it finally got spun around. As you can see, the car drift up into the marbles and hit the outside wall there. The drivers who did not pit under the last caution came in this time around, handing the lead over to Brady Wilmington, with Jake Hoover and Trivia May in 2nd and 3rd. As the laps wound down, Jake Hoover was right on Brady Wilmington's back bumper. There was an incident in the BMRN about a week and a half ago where Brady Wilmington had turned Jake Hoover to get the win on the final lap. Well, he's going to get another shot here in turn number 4. He gets into his back bumper. He turns Wilmington around. Caution is out. Championship implications for Brady Wilmington.
and Jake Hoover will get the lead.
Clearly, Jake Hoover remembered, because he turned Brady Wilmington in turn number 4, coming to the white flag. The caution came out before he could get to the line, though, which means overtime. Wilmington was pretty mad after the incident, but he was able to keep his car going as it only had minimal damage. On the restart, Trivia May, Brady Wilmington's girlfriend, would be lining up on the outside of Jake Hoover, and she was not happy with what Jake Hoover did. She was right behind when she saw it, and so on the restart, she took her revenge.
It's overtime here at Mobile. Oh, the leader's wreck! Trivia May through the grass, Jake Hoover up the racetrack. And more cars get involved. James Winner, Flammable Camaro, championship contender involved in the crash.
Trivia May took Jake Hoover out on the restart, ending her own championship hopes. Hoover got up the track and right into the path of James Winner and championship contender Flammable Camaro. Others were involved in the crash as well, including Scarlett Rose, Zarek NASCAR fan, Extreme Chevy, Landon Markham, who was the last race's winner, and others. On the front row this time was James Edwards and Shane Wensloff. Brendan Creason and Caleb Campbell were 3rd and 4th, with Ryan Kendall and Jacob Hersner 5th and 6th. This would be the final restart of the race. Or so we thought.
And Brendan Creason is going to take the lead. Oh no, Caleb Marinelli gets turned. Hard hit for him. Caution is back out.
As Brendan Creason made a big move to take the lead, there was a crash behind them as Caleb Marinelli got turned by Dylan Kroom straight into the path of unlucky Hope Wilmington. Marinelli's car got picked up off the ground after being hit in the driver's side door. Fortunately, both drivers were okay, and we moved on to the record 3rd overtime attempt. Points leader Brendan Creason would line up on the front row, leading the race on this final restart, with Ryan Kendall up on the outside. And I promise, guys, this actually is the final restart of the race. Shane Wensloff and James Johnson waited in the wings, along with Eddie Benzie and Caleb Campbell.
Shane Wensloff and James Johnson behind them. 2 laps to go, maybe, if we do make it. Creason gets an excellent restart. He needs perfect execution to fend them off behind them. Caleb Campbell on the outside 3 wide. Eddie Benzie's getting involved. Zachary Delello's in the mix as well. Here comes Kendall to the outside of Brendan Creason trying to take the lead away. He's side by side with him coming to the white flag. Shane Wensloff makes it 3 wide. Creason is around. He spins in turn 1. He's going to be able to collect it back together. But back in the race for the lead, Ryan Kendall has the lead now. Shane Wensloff in 2nd. Wensloff dives it into the corner, but it's not enough. Ryan Kendall is a winner in the York Legend Series.
Brendan Creason will get spun out of the lead by Shane Wensloff trying to go 3 wide. He would still finish the race, but he'd lose several points. Wensloff tried to send it in on the final corner, but it was not enough. Ryan Kendall, after the miserable season that he had had so far, would finally be on top and win a race. It was a great win for the entire team. After the race was over, Brendan Creason maintained the points lead, but Caleb Campbell was his newest challenger, just 2 points back. Flammable Camaro, despite crashing, was still 8 points behind him. It was off to Daytona for the championship race. And that concludes the first edition of The Best Race. Thank you guys for watching. This is Left Turn Productions, signing out.